What's up, everybody? Welcome back to DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Medium Large Sports Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by one of my favorite guests, Rob Hill, Dodgers Director of Pitching, is back with us. Rob, Director of Pitching when the starting rotation looks like it does right now. That's a pretty good title.
Man, they're doing some good stuff up there. It's great to see. Good to be back, Jeff. Good to see you.
Love it. Well, I'm excited to chat with you because I really want to get at kind of a behind the scenes of like the Dodgers, not just like why is Blake Snell good, because I think, that's its own conversation, but I'm just so fascinated by how the Dodgers are able to work with guys and approach sort of things that people like me would never even see. And so I'd love to dig into that a little bit with you. And I want to start with the guy
Sure.
that I think's at the top of this list, Roki Sasaki. I mean, what this guy has done in the last to me, it feels like 4 weeks, 6 weeks to go from a guy that from the outside, you're looking at the numbers, the velocity's down, the controls all over the place, to he comes into game 2 and everybody's like, all right, there's our closer. There's the guy. Just hand him the ball every single time. Folks like you are have your fingerprints all over this type of thing. So what can you tell us about kind of the journey that Roki Sasaki's been on this year?
No, I think it speaks a lot to just like Roki's talent is unbelievable, and when you get a guy with that sort of talent level and upside, even if he hasn't necessarily been his best version, maybe even the past couple of years, and you just nudge him in the right direction slowly, and it's a huge team effort by everybody to get him there. That's kind of the outcome that happens. You know, he's been that guy before, and to see it come back out after like how hard he's worked this year and everything he's done has been really exciting.
When a guy like that, to your point, has been as good as he has, and then he's struggling, how complicated is the process to try and identify what exactly has gotten like 1% off that is causing everything down the line to be off?
Um, it's very individual. Like some guys are like, I know it's this, I just don't quite know how to fix it. Or some guys don't necessarily know at all. Oftentimes, I've noticed that it's often the what's the right word? It's like the non man, I this is gonna kill me and I forgot this word.
Like
It's
subconscious
like
or
it's
something like that?
yeah, it's the innocuous. There we go. It's like the seemingly innocuous little things that accumulate over time that you think, oh, this kind of is bothering me, or like, oh, this feels kind of off, but like whatever, like I'm still in a good spot. And then a few of those accumulate, and then it like snowballs into like something bigger, right? Kind of like marginal gains, but in the opposite direction, right? Like
Yeah.
just like marginal losses create a big loss at one point. So um, those are, I would really say, it's like our group and our organization's ability to never like leave stones unturned and try to find what is the accumulation of those little things that
Yeah.
create the bigger problem, and then how can we assess those
Yeah.
and help. So yeah.
And with Roki, it was like delivery based, right? It was something about like kind of his weight and his foundation. And then like with something like that, like what can you tell us about the process of like, oh, wait a minute, I think we just figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think a huge portion of it has to do with just him getting healthy again. You know, like uh, who really knows the extent to which he was going through things the past couple of years. I know he's kind of said some things about like the slider and like his slot felt weird, whatever. So I think that has to be kind of the basis
Yeah.
of like where you can operate from, right? Because it's like if he's still kind of banged up, like it doesn't really matter what we see or what we want to do if his body isn't going to allow him to do it, right? So knowing that that was the baseline kind of made some of the adjustments like easier. Yeah, and it was some lower half stuff, the way he was like shifting his weight, as well as like a general paradigm of or a conceptual understanding of like how his throw needed to work, what he wanted versus what he had preconceived as being what he should do. It was kind of a lot of like it's honestly hard to describe. It was
Yeah.
it was kind of like a whirlwind of physical things combined with like mental approaches, like kind of all mashed together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have the most like empathy for this situation because I think about like me trying to play golf and knowing what I should do and actually being able to do that thing. It's like, hey, thank you for continuously telling me where my club face should be because
Right,
it doesn't
right.
matter. My body has no interest in getting it there.
100%. And like that is, I think, the traditional route of coaching generally is that, right? Like you could pay the truck driver to come tell you that you need to turn your club face the right way. It's like, okay, well, how do I do it, bro? Like that's the real sauce. And I think yeah, like anybody who complains about things that elite athletes do. It's like, show me the last skill you've learned on your own.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, let's go,
Totally. Well, and from the outside, it seems like what we're putting our finger on is what folks like you and folks like the Dodgers are so good at. Because look, you don't have to have played Major League Baseball to necessarily understand the mechanics of a pitch and how to shift your weight and where your arm should be and how to grip a baseball. Like those things can be learned separate. The
Right.
tricky part, what you guys seem to do so well, and what the Roki Sasaki situation is so interesting, is the ability to communicate it. Because this is a guy that from the outside, it felt like, hey, this is going to be a lost season and it's going to take some time. And maybe over the next 6 months, they'll be able to pinpoint some things and implement. The fact that you guys were able to adjust and tweak on the fly like you did and get him back literally in perfect timing for when the Dodgers would need him. Like, Rob, it seems to me that's the secret sauce.
Yeah, it was honestly crazy. Like the way that he took two things and it kind of just like happened the way that we had hoped. I can't say it always goes that way, but man,
Yeah.
it's been fun to watch.
Well, now it's going to be my last question on Roki, and then I'll move on. Is like, when you guys are out there, was there a day where all of a sudden he stepped onto the mound and it goes from like 96.5 to like all of a sudden 101.5, and everybody's looking around like, wait a minute, I think that was it. I think we
No,
just saw
yeah,
it.
yeah, no, like there was kind of a day. It was kind of because he's throwing a bullpen here, and kind of all of a sudden it's like 95 to 97 in the bullpen, and we're like, did we is this it? And then we're like, okay, I don't know, like I'd seen him throw 95 in a pen before, but the last time I saw him throw 95 in a pen was in spring training. The couple days before, he was like up to 101 or 100 against, like, I think against the Reds that one night, like his first game in spring training. So I was like, okay, maybe it'll have some good carryover, and then goes to OKC, and then that was that first outing back in OKC after out
Crazy,
of the bullpen.
crazy.
Yeah, it
And
was it was crazy.
the other piece to moving away from Roki Sasaki that I wanted to ask you about, because the Dodgers pitching staff, when you say Dodgers pitching, there's the starting pitching, which I think might be the best 4-man rotation I've ever seen, and really probably 6-man rotation I've ever seen going into a postseason. And then you've got the Dodgers bullpen that's kind of struggling in some things. And so without
Yeah,
naming specific guys, I'm so fascinated by the three pieces of pitching to me. And you tell me if there's a fourth or a fifth or a sixth, but there's
sure.
the actual pitches themselves, there's the mental side of things, and then there's the physical mechanical side, like with Roki Sasaki. Um, when a team is when you've got guys at the big league level, like what we just talked about with Roki, is there's a guy in Arizona or he's in the minor leagues, and there's just more time. There's more hands on him because it's like, hey, if he doesn't pitch in a game this week, that's fine. We have bigger, more important things. With Dodger relievers right now, you don't have necessarily that time. You've only got little spurts to try things. So what is the approach when a guy is struggling, but at the major league level and in the
Yeah,
playoffs, even more so, to try and adjust and tweak, knowing that you have very tiny windows to do so?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a really tough question. It's not something I've had to experience personally, just because I haven't really like been up there like with the guys like during that. I think a lot of it, like, it's the unfortunate part of like reliever volatility in
Yeah,
general, is you're 1 inch away from getting it out versus like it's a base tying, because like just the stakes are so much higher, right? Like the
yeah,
leverage situations are so much more impactful. So it's like um I can speak to like the minor league stuff more so, like slightly. Even coming into like playoffs and things like that, it's kind of just you have to find a way to shift and like funnel their focus into things that they can control, because that's
yeah,
ultimately what ends up being the main driver of like a loss of performance for a lot of relievers, especially because the stakes are so high.
yeah,
It's really hard to maintain confidence because you get such a short window to be good or bad, and then
yeah,
the feedback is very loud, right? Like it's you either do something really really cool and everyone's hyped, or something bad happens, right? So I think that's where you touch on like the mental aspect, like the confidence and the personal relationships that you have, and then the guidance around you to help you stay on track. So like the worst thing that can happen to relievers in general, I think, is when they start searching and they
yeah,
start going, oh, it's got to be this, oh, it's got to be this, and they start to extrapolate out circumstances or potentialities in the future based on a very small sample of instances, right?
yeah,
And so that's what I think a lot of it comes down to, and we just have to continue to, because we know these guys are good, right?
yeah,
And like again, I'm not up there, so I can't necessarily speak to the specifics of it. Um, there is just more inherent bad luck and randomness in a small sample, right?
Yeah.
And so all we can really do is put them in the best situations possible, continue to support them, and make sure they're confident and roll with our guys because like they can do exactly what we need them to do. We know they can.
Yeah. Well, and it's got to be interesting, especially at the bullpen level, because to your point, hey, control the things you can control. Now, sometimes they control things and they don't actually pitch well, but they get good luck. Things pan out correctly. And so I imagine that's
100%.
almost the hardest thing to come out. A guy gets a 1, 2, 3 inning, and it's like, well, do we tell him that like if he keeps throwing the fastball like that, we're going to be in trouble down the road, or do we just say, hey, great job, man, keep that up, and we're going to be fine?
Right. It's and that's the incredible cost benefit analysis that Mark and Connor and all those people do up there. That is, it's amazing, honestly, that they're able
Yeah.
to handle those situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk starting pitching for the Dodgers because for a guy like you who thinks about the science behind pitching and the mechanics, and then you get to watch as the Dodgers throw out their Snell and then Yamamoto and then Otani, and idiots like me on my show are arguing about like which of these three guys is the best pitcher on the team, and you're like, I don't know, they're probably all in the top 5 or 6 in the entire league, so maybe like we don't have to choose which one is better. But what's fascinating to me, Rob, is how like just Yamamoto and Snell. I mean, these two guys could not be more different, it seems like, in their
Yeah,
approach to pitching. Like, obviously, one guy's a lefty, one guy's a righty. Like, one guy, it's just stuff galore everywhere. The other guy, it's like 6 pitches that he can put any place that he wants to do it. Like, I just from a pitching side of things, how high of a level as Dodgers fans are we getting to see of a
oh
like a
man.
master's course in how to pitch from those two?
Oh man, and I think you just encapsulated it incredibly well. It's like I think Blake gets tagged as like this, stuff galore like guy a lot of the time with like not great command, just because like historically, sure he's like ran some relatively high walk rates, but I think that they're almost both like coalescing into because I think the best pitcher is the guy with the best stuff and the best command, right? Like the
Yeah,
best imagined pitcher, right, is like the guy who throws a 117-mile-an-hour curveball and can like throw it at the bottom of the zone and then lower into the dirt,
yeah,
right? So but what's been cool to see is how both of those two guys have almost adopted certain aspects of each other's
yeah,
game. I don't know if that was on purpose or whatever, but like Yama will get a ton of chases, but that's like usually Blake is more of like a chase based guy, right? And then Blake the other day is throwing just like infinite changeups, like way more than he had thrown in
right.
a long time. So I think it's like what's really fun for me as just like a fan of pitching in general is to watch how their game plans and their approaches are adaptable as the season goes on, as we face teams more in more high pressured games and things like that, like the usages change and like the approaches change and like I don't know what did Blake have like 1 or 2 walks the other night, like nothing crazy, right? And he's just like ahead in the count against everybody and like sticking fastballs in, like executing like breaking balls, like throwing the changeup off it, and just like they both are bringing their A game at the right time. So it's
Yeah.
it's been really fun.
I said on our show, post game show on Tuesday, I don't know if and I have a terrible memory. So when I say things like this, everyone should take it with a huge grain of salt. I don't know if I've ever seen a pitch that was as simply dominant as Snell's changeup was in game
Yeah,
one. I think he had like 20 whiffs on 25 swings. Like it was
it
the
was
most
it was it was
outrageous
unbelievable.
number.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And like I'm over here watching the game, texting a bunch of our lefties that we have in the system, like Zach Root, for example, or like Jacob Wright, some of the younger guys. And I'm going, hey, are you watching Snell right now? And also, I mean, Scooble had just given us a master class earlier in the day, right? And I'm like, are you guys watching how they're like deploying their fastball and then using the changeup? Like that
Yeah.
approach versus righties um, is just like really, really good, obviously.
Yeah.
And it helps when like the guy's up there worrying about Blake Snell with 2 of the best breaking balls in the game and a pretty good fastball, and then he starts throwing this yo-yo changeup anywhere from 79 to 86 and like wherever he wants. It's gonna be a tough day. It's gonna be a tough day as a right-handed hitter.
15 whiffs on 20 swings by the number was the number, by the way.
It's
So are you just
horrendous.
texting Zach Root and say, hey, just throw a changeup like Blake Snell does, please? Okay.
No, right. I mean, and like Zach does have a really good changeup, so I think it was like an easy parallel for him to see because that's something he has done in college too. It's like he'll
Yeah.
stick 2 seams in versus right, throw a changeup, and it's cool. So it was just fun to watch it on the big stage with 2 like supreme lefties in the sport.
Yeah, incredible, incredible. And then obviously, we haven't even seen Otani pitch in the postseason yet. Excuse me. And it's hilarious because there's numbers that say he might have been the best pitcher in Major League Baseball this season when he was on the
Dude,
mound. And it's like, oh yeah, just adding pitches. Like, oh, now we're just going to throw 6 different things at you, and all of them are insane, and all of them are hard, and he can do whatever he wants. Like, What would you? I mean, let me ask you this way, and this will be the last question I ask you.
No
If
worries.
you were in an opposing dugout and your hitting coach comes to you and says, "Hey, Dodgers, Snell, Yamamoto, Otani, like, how the heck are you supposed to prepare for these three guys with a million pitches, lefties, righties, hard stuff, soft stuff, breaking stuff? Like, it just doesn't seem like. Is it just like, hey, just go up there and hope for the best?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I am not nearly good enough at game planning against pitchers to know what they would do. It's like, yeah, I understand your point. Like the amount of volume of pitches plus the stuff quality plus the execution ability is just like uncanny. It's unheard of, truly. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the heck I would say.
Well, and I laugh. I mean, we were talking about the whiff rate. Like, I keep laughing. I think it was Yamamoto had like 20 fastballs just called strikes in that game. And
Yeah,
we were doing the post game, and it's like, well, yeah, because if he throws everything else, and then all of a sudden, like 97 comes at you, you don't even have time to think about it. You're trying to
right.
protect against the changeup or whatever.
Right. And
Yamamoto's
that's exactly what I thought it was. I thought like they were being very passive in kind of some weird counts on fastballs, and I was like, okay, like because I think the only few times Yama has kind of struggled this year in terms of like walks, at least, is when teams were good at checking off of his split, right?
yeah,
Like if he ran into teams that were a little bit chase heavy and would swing at the split, it was a good time.
yeah.
So I think they were really like, I don't want to swing and miss at the split. I would rather just take something that starts down, and then, well, you just took a called strike at the bottom.
Yeah.
Part of it.
And the funniest part is then the fourth guy in this group is Tyler Glasnow, who like doesn't even get talked about because he's the fourth man. And it's like he of all the guys that when you talk about stuff and velocity, like he was the poster child for it like 18
Right.
months ago. And yet it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, if they need a fourth in game 4, they're gonna get to go with Glasnow in there as well.
Right.
So good times in the Dodgers starting pitching organization, and hopefully some of
Indeed.
that could bleed into the relief pitcher market. Rob, we appreciate it. This was so much fun. Love hearing the stuff about Roki Sasaki. I know he's a guy that, again, Dodger fans they're all in on. I don't know how much of a choice they have, but they're all in on Roki Sasaki. And it seems like the numbers, the behind the scenes stuff that I'm hearing, all of it backs it up. So enjoy the rest
Appreciate
of
it.
the spring, or I should say the winter down in Arizona. Get
Yeah, I don't
yourself a
even
little
know.
bit of time off. We're going to be down there for spring, not too long.
Oh, let's go. Sounds good.
So we
Cool.
appreciate it. That is
All
Rob
right.
Hill, director of pitching for the Dodgers. As always, we appreciate his time. Thank you, everyone, for watching Dodger Heads presented by DodgerBlue.com. We'll be live post game after every Dodgers postseason game. So make sure to join us right here. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. As always, go Dodgers.